everybody, it's Georgia Rose, and welcome to a very special Soul Space tonight, our last show of 2021, and I am in so much gratitude for all of you for supporting my work and, tuning in every week and being such a wonderful part of our beautiful Zencuda community. So welcome to the Soul Space tonight. We've got a really special show for you. I'm going to be doing a meditation and a healing for world peace with all of you, and hopefully we'll generate some energy, all of you at home and wherever you're listening, in your cars, on your phones, whatever. And we're going to talk about the astrology because the energy has definitely been very intense since our eclipses and also since the full moon Saturday night. Now, how many of you have been outside and seen that moon? If you haven't, get out there and look at it this evening after our broadcast, because I just was looking out the window and it's as big as it was on Saturday night. It's just an amazing sight to see this beautiful full moon. So I'm going to share the show. You guys know that I have to do that every week. So let me do that while we are just getting everybody in, giving everybody a little bit of time to kind of settle down. If you have a hot beverage that you want to have today, get that going. And, just relax and settle in with me, and let's do a meditation in a little while. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the astrology for Christmas and New Year's, so you're prepared for all these beautiful gatherings that you're going to have. And hopefully they'll be fun. I'll give you some advice on how to handle the energy, and we'll go from there. Okay. So I got a few people coming in, I can see already. And hopefully we'll keep getting everybody going. Let me get this over here. Just giving everybody a few minutes to come on in, join us in the soul space. And you can comment. I don't have a phone today, but you can definitely comment in the comments and ask any questions, talk about any energy that you want to, and we'll get this thing going on. Okay, here we go. So, who have I got on tonight? Let's see. Oh, I got some people in here. We're all piling in. I got Janine Gemelli. Hope you're feeling good, my friend Monica. I hope you're all staying safe, because we don't want to give into fear, of course, or anything like that. But I do know that right now, a lot of people are getting sick. So even if it's not COVID, the flu, viruses, you want to really stay safe wherever you are in the world, in your homes, in your towns. Make sure you're definitely doing some precautions there. Okay, so I would love to start tonight with a little bit of the astrology, because I have to tell you that the astrology for the next couple of weeks into the beginning of 2022, I'm so excited to start a new year. I don't know about you guys, but the energy coming in for 2022 is super, super intense right now for the next couple of weeks. And then it's going to wind off a little bit. But we've got some things actually happening on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and New Year's that are some really can be volatile energy. So I'm going to actually let you guys hear about that and give you some advice along the way. So let's start with energy. So we know that we had this beautiful full moon over the weekend. And that full moon was actually at 27 degrees of Gemini. It is opposing the galactic center, which is the largest black hole that we ever know about in space so far. And that galactic center is almost like a cosmic vacuum. So really good energy for us to start releasing some things. And the question I would say to ask yourself is, where or what in your life can you release in order to make room for your own creativity and some new energy coming forward? And that's a really big question for all of us, but I think it's something that we really want to think about right now, because I have to tell you, these next 10 days or so going into 2022 are going to be a really optimum time for our creativity to really flourish. It can also go in the opposite direction and be an expression in the negative for us if we're not careful, because this energy coming in is really intense. I'm going to specifically talk about that in a minute. But first, what I'm going to say is there's an energy within you that needs to be expressed. Whether that's a positive force or a negative force is your choice. Every choice we create, we make creates more of us. But I can guarantee that something between now and the 31st of this year is going to want to come out. An energy within you that's been really in there for a while, if it hasn't already come to a head for this full moon, is going to want to be expressed. So really make sure that whatever energy wants to be expressed, that you choose to express it in the highest octave. And that would be your creativity and your spiritual connection. We have a lot of Neptune in Pisces energy coming in. Jupiter is going to be going into Pisces permanently for a year. And we had a glimpse of that energy last spring when Jupiter retrograded into Pisces for a little bit. So whatever was going on last spring is going to come back in 2022, and that's going to be one of your themes. So we've got Janine online. I've got Elaine. Hi, Elaine. I've got Carrie Ann. Hi, Carrie Ann. Sarah. Love you, Sarah. Everybody's piling in tonight for our beautiful meditations that we're going to do. Get to those in a few minutes. But first, I just want to talk about the energy that's coming in December, end of December. So there's a couple of themes that have been running for a while now. It started really in 2020 when we had last December that beautiful conjunction in Capricorn of Pluto and Saturn and Jupiter. And that was almost the kickoff for a lot of the energy that we experienced in 2021. And you know, if you watch the Soul Space and you've listened to my blogs and my videos, that one of the themes has been control versus freedom. And we've watched all of our structures and a lot of our institutions being questioned as truth comes in. And we don't want to be restricted any longer. And so one of the things that came out of January of 2021 was an aspect in the sky that was a Uranus-Saturn square. And that happened 3 times within 2021. The third time is going to be on December 24th, Christmas Eve. Every time that Uranus and Saturn square this past year, we've had a tightening of the restrictions. We've had a tightening of government institutions trying to pass laws in some kind of a restrictive way. And the rebellion starts up. And that's been the energy that's been one of the themes of this year. And every time that square comes in and around again, it actually gets amplified and heightened, and the restrictions get tighter, and our ability to be free within ourselves is challenged. So this theme of freedom versus control has been the running theme for 2021. And we've seen it play out globally in our towns, in our states, in our country, across the world. The pandemic was also a big part of that, right? And we've also seen it taking place in the microcosm in our own lives in some way. Where do you utilize power? How does power have an effect on you? How are you restricting in your own life? And how are you struggling for freedom and control in your own life, right? So as above, so below, whatever parallels in the macrocosm is in the microcosm. So now we have this third square of Uranus and Saturn coming in right on December 24th. On December 25th, Venus and Pluto meet in the sky. And those of you who watch my broadcast know Pluto is the planet of transformation. Pluto is basically something has to die to be reborn. And Venus is our values. Venus is not just financial value, although it's a big part of that. It's going to play out a lot in this energy. We're going to see in the next couple of weeks the stock markets and banking institutions really have some changes start to take effect. But it's also how we value ourselves and what is a value within us that we can bring out into the world. So you can see how along the backdrop of this freedom versus control, what really is coming out is the releasing of the old, the bringing in of the new. And I know that's really cliche, but if we drill that down specifically, what that is pertaining to right now and in these next 10 days, basically what that is pertaining to is where in our life do we need to release further things? We've done a lot of releasing this year, but what else do we have to release in order to actually find our freedom? And what do we have to release that is a conditioning that controls us from a structure that is external, so that we can now have space to build an internal structure? So you see that freedom and control polarity is actually an outer authority and an inner authority polarity. And that is really what the struggle's been all this past year. We can frame it in the COVID virus and the pandemic and the restrictions, and we're being told to wear masks we might not want to wear, or get vaccinations we may not want to get. We can frame it in all that. We can frame it in the restrictions of government and the increasing in taxations and things like that. And we can frame it in that. And that's going to be a really big theme for 2022 as the United States starts to engage in its Pluto return. There are planets that are going right into the same aspect, the same place in the zodiac where they were when the Declaration of Independence was signed 240 years ago. So all of that energy is going to repeat to be changed. So I can guarantee you there's a lot of constitutional issues that are going to come up for 2022, taxation without representation, all of these things that are like 240 years old and have never been reconciled are all going to just extremely blow up and become volatile for the United States in 2022. But let's go back to the theme of control versus freedom, outer authority versus inner authority. And all of these external frames that we can wrap those in and be focused on. Racism and division, where does that restrict us? And where are we really free to make our own choices? All of those are just external frames. But what's really important is what's in your picture. What is it inside of you that is an authority? What are the things that you believe and subscribe to and adhere to and maybe even worship? And what of those things were built on those frames that are now wobbling and splintering and falling apart and no longer make sense? So there's one thing, and I'm not political at all. This is all about self-mastery. But there's one thing that no government, and by government, I mean any kind of hierarchy that is made by the people, made by humanity, all right? I'm not specifically saying our government in the country I live in, but any government, there's one energy that they can never touch, and that's love. You can't structure love. You can't restrict love. It's a force. It's just going to happen. I mean, look at how people loved during the Holocaust in camps, and people loved during great earthly tragedies of volcanoes and weather and famine. And so that's where we need to go. And especially now, you see all this beautiful light around me in honor of the solstice that comes in tomorrow, which is a festival of light, right? Every time we have a solstice, we think about the light and the dark. So what can you cast to the dark that belongs in the dark, right? What can you put there in order to make more room for what you can bring into the light? Now, I know we all have to go into the dark to find certain things, but once we reconcile them, we can cast them away to the past, so they're transmuted now, right? Energy is meant to be transmuted. So instead of focusing so much on the frames and getting angry and aggressive, no one does their job right, and why is there such a long line? Nobody even wants to work anymore, and whatever it might be, okay? On the eve of a time when we can celebrate light and Jesus, which I have a story about in a minute, or we can focus on Russia's going into the Ukraine and what's happening in Afghanistan, and is there going to be a food shortage, and am I going to get sick? We need to go into love, because all of those things that we have in those frames that we're framing our life against, at the end of the day, they're not going to help us become more self-aware or master love. They're going to make us live in fear, which is going to make us weak and going to tear down the whole species. And humanity will be really greatly challenged if we go into those energies. But if we stay in love for one another, and we stay in peace, and we stay in an environment where we are our inner authority, And we have choices that we make every day that are sovereign over these other earthly restrictions and earthly situations and earthly challenges. So as we go into 2022, and I don't mean to sound lectury or anything, but I read the energy and I study and I meditate and I live a very monastic life. And this is what I see. So as we go into 2022, it's really, really important for us to have a safe space in our own minds and hearts where we can go to rejuvenate, to be peaceful, to be healthy. Create that space wherever you need to create it. If it's in your work in the world, if it's in your home, if it's with your family, if it's with a loved one, because life is about to get a little bit more challenging for all of us before it gets better. And we need all of the strength that we can possibly muster. And the way we do that is by rejuvenating, refreshing, connecting to higher sources of love. That's how we become stronger. We think more clearly. We have clarity in our own hearts about how we want to use our lives and make them well used. And I think that we're coming at a time where we're going to start to spin out of control if we start really focusing on the frames around us, the media, all of these things that probably aren't true. Or we can focus on truth, the love of people who we value, the love of ourselves, and the love of giving to the universe in some way, because we have a unique value that we bring to everyone else in our species, in humanity. And in that way, we can all be really, really connected and we all get stronger together. And in that way, when you go to the grocery store or someone cuts you off in traffic or someone's yelling on the line, you're pretty removed from it. And it becomes an observation because you have this protective force field of love around you. And you're not going into that framework of the negative, which is really made to destroy us. So something is building inside you that needs to be released. And I really hope, and my wish that I send out to everyone this evening is that that expression that you want to release becomes a beautiful expression of love in some way, in a forgiving way to whoever you feel anger towards, in a reconciliation way, so that you can go on with the rest of your life and cast to the darkness what needs to be cast to the darkness. And don't be afraid to look in the darkness for what you need to bring out, reconcile, transmute, and make yourself stronger. And in that way, we become our own authority, our own sovereignty, and we're not letting the framework of the three-dimensional world be that for us. So on the 24th and 25th, we've got these aspects coming in with the third and final Uranus and Saturn square, which again is going to bring more restriction. We're already hearing about that now. I know our President Biden is about to speak tomorrow, and I can guarantee you he's going to speak of more restrictions, more mandates that will happen, and we can live above it. Like I wrote a post recently about the eagle who flies above the storm, and eagles fly above the storm in order to gain purchase over it, right? So that's how we have to be. So the other thing that happens towards the end of the month is on the 24th and 25th, we have that Uranus and Saturn square, which is the freedom versus control. It's the repeat of all the freedom versus control environment that we've been living in this past year. And then on the 29th and on the 25th, we've got Venus and Pluto conjuncting. All right. So you've got a Saturn Uranus square, Uranus, the great awakener, planet of sudden unexpected change, meeting Saturn, who's the restriction, the authority. That's where the freedom and control comes through. And then you have Venus and Pluto meeting in the sky on the following day, which is Christmas Day. When Venus and Pluto meet in the sky, as I said, that's our values. That's what we hold valuable, being transmuted in some way to show us a better way. So don't be surprised if you feel like you want to release something around that time. And then on the 29th and 30th, the 29th to 31st, we've got Mercury conjuncting that Venus-Pluto conjunction. So that is shocking news. Something's going to come out that we have thought or that we haven't been able to get the whole story about, or that we thought was maybe a little fishy. Something big and shocking comes out on the world stage. It could be the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. It could be something to do with our authority in government. But something comes out that's a shocking truth. In our own lives, this can play out to be something where we see the truth, something that we really didn't ever want to admit, or something that was like we suspected something for a while and now it comes out. And that's right around New Year's Eve. So you want to really kind of be at peace and lay low, because also on the 30th, Mars conjuncts the exact space where we had the eclipse on December 4th in Sagittarius. So that's a very volatile and heady energy. That can be aggressive energy. It could be a little bit of drama. So from the 29th to the 31st, you might feel like, you know, the world's churning a little bit. But if you are peaceful and you stay in your own environment and you kind of detach a little bit, which is really good to do because we have a Capricorn energy now, you'll be fine. You know, that energy, the higher octave of it is creativity. The higher octave of it is when you want to, you know, compose music, write poetry, draw, paint, structure your 2022 calendar for your year of what your goals are. That last and final days of December are going to be a little bit, you know, up and down, volatile, wishy-washy, but it doesn't have to affect you that way if you stay in your own sovereignty and mastery and master yourself. And I think that was everything I had about the astrology. You want to be love? I wrote, be love. You know, the government can't reach love. You know, they only can make laws. We are still in an eclipse energy, so make sure that you look at things with eclipse eyes, meaning that you might not know the whole story. There's more that's going to be revealed for your truth and your beauty and your salvation, and so that you have truth in your life. And I think that was everything. This is a very important time because that Venus, Pluto, and Venus is really in play right now. It went retrograde today. And Venus is going to be retrograde and won't be out of shadow until the beginning of March. That is very radical reviews of what you value. So don't be surprised if what you're thinking today, if you keep a journal, will be very different than what your views are in March. It's really an important and radical reevaluation of how we spend our time and attention, what we give time and attention to. And like I've said many times in soul space, the things that we give attention to repeatedly, that's what we're worshiping. So you really don't want to give worship to things that are not deserving of that. You think about it, you can worship ice cream, right? If every night you come home and you eat dinner, but you're just eating dinner to get to the ice cream, or you're just eating dinner to get to the chocolate, you're worshiping that. That's a constant worship of that. And that's controlling you. And those are the type of things that are going to culminate in this energy last few days of 2021 into 2022 regarding that freedom versus control. Now it's going to shift a little bit as we're all a little bit more optimistic, and it's going to shift into the inner of where do I lose control? What do I value? What do I give my time and attention to? And some radical reevaluations are going to come up for us, which is awesome. I think that's awesome energy. So let me go back and read my comments before we do our meditation. Let's see who we got on here. Oops, I keep thinking this is a touch screen on this laptop and it's not. Hey, Monica. Hey, everybody. Anybody got any comments, questions, anything that you want to say about everything I just said? I hope I didn't lose people because it was so long-winded tonight. You guys are all good? So we are going to do a meditation, and I have my beautiful singing bowl. But oh, I've got to tell you guys about a meditation I had. It's my singing bowl. I love my singing bowls. So I want to shout out to my friend Yvonne. She came to my Reiki circle that I do for my beautiful breast cancer ladies every month. And she came with her singing bowls, and boy, that was an amazing, amazing night. She's got these beautiful singing bowls made out of 7 metals that are very, very old. And every time we play them, we all get so energized. It's just unbelievable. But I was meditating on Sunday morning. And I say I was meditating, but I was actually deep in a meditation. And when I when I go deep into meditation, I have visions. So, they come in like regular movies in my mind and whatever. And so that's my clairaudience and clairvoyance. So I was meditating and I went deep into meditation and I felt Jesus. And Jesus is a common person that I feel, not a common person, a common energy that I feel. He's in my home a lot. We just, it resonates with me. And especially this time of year, Jesus is very prominent for all of us. So when you meditate, I would definitely bring in the energy of JC. Jesus is amazing. His energy is so unbelievably unconditional love and just a sparkling light being of confidence and beauty and compassion and joy. So I was meditating very deeply and started to see my visions. And all of a sudden, I had this beautiful vision of Jesus in the manger. We all know whether that's true or not true or just a symbolism. But that's the vision they gave me. And there were people around, and I was in the crowd of people, and it was just a small crowd, almost like you'd have around a baby's bassinet, if aunts and uncles were there. And all of a sudden, the whole vision was just filled with light, and I started to be retracted out from the vision. And the wider the energy was retracted with me coming out of the vision, the more people and the more people and the more people I saw. And there was just this baby Jesus and this beautiful light, and just until it became millions and millions of people. And I was just retracted up above the earth. And I realized that this time of year, we forget what Christmas and what this beautiful celebration is about. And without getting too religious about it, because I know how many of us feel about formed religion, but that beautiful light, right? However you want to picture Jesus, whether it's as a baby or it's just light, that is there for each and every one of us and can unite the whole amazing universe. And so that's what I want you kind of to focus on while we're doing this beautiful meditation for world peace, as I call in the angels. I want to call in Metatron, his beautiful, strong confidence. And if everyone who's watching, wherever you are at home, or just take a few minutes and breathe deeply, maybe put your feet on the floor and relax. And think about that beautiful light of the world, which is Jesus, God, our creator, who shed his light on the world so that each and every one of us would never be in darkness. And then let that light come into you now, maybe through the crown of your head or your heart space. Just let it fill you with joy, peace, love. Take a deep breath in. Relax. As I call in Archangel Gabriel, Jesus, Raphael, bring us your beautiful green light for all of the healing in the world. Let us be touched with your beautiful ray of healing, refreshing, rejuvenation. Just allow the light of Creator to come into us all now. If there's any guide or angel that you work with, bring him in. And as this beautiful light comes down into your crown and into your heart space, connecting you with love, connecting you with all of the hearts filled with love across the world, I offer this prayer. Let it wash over you. Let the words relax you. Let the beauty of the light of our Father heal and refresh you, bring you peace. Heavenly Father, Creator, show us the light of our own hearts, the ability for us to manifest and create love, healing. Keep us safe and protected in this world as we go forward and do your work in love. Jesus, put compassion in our hearts for our brothers and sisters. Put compassion in our hearts for ourselves. Allow us to rise, float on your light, as your light connects us all in hearts, minds, love, peace, unity. We ask this, Father, in our sacred soul space this evening, as we all unite in beautiful, loving promise of what the world can be, as we go forth and create better, more loving, healthy, and more abundant world in your image. And now let this beautiful light radiate out into every part of your body, slowly moving like warm, liquid love into your palms, down your arms, your fingers, your torso, your back, your heart, down your legs and your hips and your knees, into your ankles and feet. Allow your whole body to be glowing with this beautiful light of the world, the light of our Creator. Just sit back in this beautiful light as it warms you. You are safe. You are love. You are freedom. You are beautiful, warm. As your body glows with this beautiful white light, healing every fiber, every cell, your blood and your bones are just glowing with this beautiful, radiant light of love. Allow yourself to go deeper into this beautiful feeling of light. Allow it to carry you upwards, spinning upwards. You're coming through the ceiling of the room now and into the sky, just filled with this beautiful light, flying into the sky, past the stars now. So much joy and freedom as you fly through the stars and sky, up to the moon, this beautiful full moon. You're just so filled with light, love, healing energy. You land on this beautiful full moon, this glowing golden orb. And the moon speaks to you, has a message for you. Walk in the light, golden glow of the moon. Allow the rays of light to heal you, love you, replenish you. Open your arms wide and hear the message that Creator has for you through these beautiful moonbeams. Feel the love in your heart for this beautiful place, for your life, for your breath, for your possibilities. And now embrace this beautiful moon energy with gratitude. Allow it to come into you sparkly and golden. Heal anything that needs healing. Knowing it to be so. And now take some of this beautiful energy, send it out to the world, to anyone that needs the energy of triumph and healing. May all find peace as beautiful as you have now. Your body is still glowing with this beautiful golden energy. And you start to slowly fly again through the sky, past the stars, into the beautiful black sky. And you're slowly spinning down again. You can see the earth. You can see your town. You can see your house. You come back down to the room where you started. Still glowing, beautiful. Warm, love, healing, renewed, refreshed. You're now back where you started, in the room. Slowly, as your body takes this beautiful golden light of our Creator, unconditional love, miraculous healing, instantaneous rejuvenation. As you take this beautiful light and just start to place it in your heart to a place that's comfortable for you. Knowing this beautiful light of the world, love, unity is there for your taking anytime you wish. When you're ready, you can come back into the room, open your eyes and wiggle your toes and your fingers. Archangel Metatron, Raphael, and Gabriel are fading into the background now, closing our auras, closing our chakras, always at the ready anytime we need their help. And if you guys have any questions or comments, you can just put them in the chat. Thanks, Elaine. It's a little dark, but it's okay. I'm not a brunette, you know. Elaine's liking my hair. Back to the real world, right? Our hair. Okay. So I have a couple of minutes left to the show. And what I'd like to do is, first of all, I got to ring some bells because, you know, every time you ring bells, an angel gets their wings. So I encourage all of you to ring bells at Christmas time, especially because the angels need their wings. And I want to talk a little more about Venus being retrograde because I'm a perfect example. I'm glad Elaine likes my hair, but I hate it. And and we should never do anything cosmetically to ourselves. No tattoos, no surgeries, no hair, no anything when Venus is retrograde because it doesn't always come out so good. So no major decisions until March if you can help it, guys. That's really the way you want to go. Hi, Bruno. Welcome. I think Bruno's new. I hope you enjoyed the meditation. And also this time of year, I always feel like angels are very much more prevalent. So I think it also bring in angels this time of year, because you're really going to see that they come in quicker and you're going to feel them. A lot of miracles, Christmas miracles are really real. So you want to make sure that you really are praying to the angels as well and asking them for help. The other thing I was going to say is the solstice. Let's talk a little bit about that. A lot of really great things that that happen during the solstice are to do with light. So one of the things we can do tomorrow is the solstice, first day of winter officially. And what'll happen is if we can take some kind of a ceremony and do a little ritual, you know, similar to like I put a lot of light in that meditation. I would say try and maybe even light a candle, do some candle gazing. You want to be in gratitude, a lot of gratitude when you do prayers and rituals for the solstice, because it's all about light and being in the light. So one of the things you can do is maybe take a dark candle and a light candle. And when you meditate on the dark candle, meditate about your past and things that maybe you've taken part in that you really are not happy about, or things that have happened that have been challenging for you. And then when you blow it out, you release them. And then when you light the bright candle or the lighter color candle, you can focus on forward and future energy and how things will be different in your life and manifest what you want to manifest. So it's really a pretty cool way to release the dark with the darker candle, or even if you just take two candles and assign one past and one future and blow out the past and then light the future and manifest what you really want to manifest. It's a simple ritual because I know a lot of us can't really go outside these days, but you know, with the cold and everything, to have ritual, but that's a simple way to bring in light and honor the light. You want to do whatever resonates and feels good with you about honoring the light. So I'm going to pick a couple of cards now for the winter solstice and see what we get from that. And I want to just say Merry Christmas and how grateful I am. Donna's on. Hey, Donna. Want to say Merry Christmas and how grateful I am to all of you. One of the things that we're going to be doing in 2022, I did one in November that was really a lot of fun. We're going to be doing at the end of every month, on the last Sunday of every month, an astrology event for the upcoming month's energy. And that'll be about an hour and a half or so at Paradise Studios. It'll be a live in-studio event. And you can also watch it via PayPal, via pay-per-view. So we're going to be doing those religiously on the last Sunday of every month throughout 2022. I hope you'll come because it's a great way to get the energy update live. You can ask me questions about your chart. You can learn about your chart and learn about certain things. And it's done in those monthly increments because I think that's the easiest way for everybody to follow along. So I'm going to pick a couple of cards, like I said, for the solstice and for the energy tonight. This has been a very intense, energetic week. Whenever we have a full moon in Gemini, a lot of people complain they don't sleep. That'll get better, probably starting tomorrow night and tonight, and you'll find your sleep pattern returning. So talk to me, guys. How's the energy been for you guys? Anything going on? I'm going to pick two cards from the tarot, and then I'm going to pick a soul card. So I've got, this is for the energy coming up, the solstice and towards the end of the year of 2022. What can we expect, Spirit? So the two cards I got were the Emperor. This is a card to me, for those of us who live in the United States. I know we have people from all over, but this is a card for me of government, of Biden. I think we can expect more restrictions coming, especially when I look at this card and I see the rams on the chair. That is, you know, forcing what do rams do? They come in, you know, with their horns going, and they force things, right? They're stubborn and they're forcible and they're hard to deal with, right? That's big government. And then this is my Page of Cups. Pages are action and communication, and Cups is a water sign. I think this is very indicative of we're going to be getting more of this. So to me, this is like a Pisces energy that it amplifies this. I feel that the disconnection that we have with government and the people is going to continue for the United States, especially in 2022. I'm going to do a special video about the Pluto return for the country. This really hits home for me. I can almost feel the energy coming off of these cards about that freedom versus control on a structural and governmental level. So you really want to stay in your own space, in your own sovereign, and be safe and be happy and find joy where you can find it. I'm going to pick a soul card to confirm that reading. And yeah, not sleeping, Sarah, all of us, everybody was just so much energy coming in, and especially on the galactic center, which is the center of our universe, our galaxy, where the full moon was. That's a lot of energy and a lot of mental energy. So this is the card that I picked for the confirmation of the two cards that I just got, which were the Emperor and the Page of Cups. I'd love to hear Elaine Risotto, who's on online, weigh in on this as well. This card, to me, the face is dark, right? But look at the body, the heart, all light. To me, this is like, get out of the head. This is where you have to live from. I always tell clients, you can never truly experience life from here. You think you do, but the only place you really experience life is here. Lead with the heart and the soul, and you will always be in alignment. This is the thing that screws everything up. So this card really confirms that, you know, that idea of the Emperor on the throne dictating, and the Pisces energy of connection. Pisces symbolically in the zodiac is two fish swimming into opposite directions. It's the connection of heart and head. It's the illusion, delusion, and untruths that we find when we swim in two different directions from our heart and head. And when we can get them swimming in the right direction, then we know truth and we know clarity. And that's really what it is, an evolved Pisces, or a Pisces who is a lower energy Pisces. That's the dichotomy. That's the polarity of those energies. Are you connected or disconnected? And then this is showing that disconnection, the head in the dark and the light coming up through, and trying so desperately to come into this beautiful head. You've got light in the framework, and then this in the darkness. So this actually, to me, is optimistic and hope when I get a message like this, because it shows us our direction and our clarity, and how the heart is where we're really supposed to be, having us led. This Christmas, really spend time in what's truly, truly valuable to you. I'm going to pick another soul card because they're telling me to do that, and I always try to. Okay. Let's see what else I got on here. Okay. Yeah, this is very similar. It's reaching for the light now. Look at that beautiful card. You've got someone, looks like, this to me just so looks like Jesus to me. Like this is Jesus, this figure, and this is us represented, and that Jesus wants us to reach for the light. It's almost like this is his light, his halo, his wings almost of light, right? Rays of light. And then we're reaching for them. So that's the answer, guys. You got to find love. Love is the answer. So I send that love to all of you. And before we leave tonight, I would like you all to just join me. Yeah, hope and love is uppermost. A lot of optimism. Unfortunately, for 2022, we're going to be on that roller coaster, but you can always keep optimism going in your own heart. So you don't need the external to do it. So really beautiful Christmas if we stay in our hearts. So I'd like you all to join me in a little bit of an exercise before we close out tonight and close out my last show for 2022, although I'm sure you'll see me in a couple of videos this week. I'd like you all just to take a deep breath in. And then if you could, I'm going to say 3 sentences. And at the beginning of these sentences, if you could insert your name, like I would say the sentence, Georgia, and you're going to say whatever your name is, Sarah, Elaine, whatever. So say your name. I love you. Say your name. I believe in you. Say your name. I respect you. And now I send all of that love out to everyone in the universe. May it unify us and bring us a beautiful Christmas. And may the light of our Creator find you wherever you are, whether you're in sickness or challenge, in joy, in happiness, whether you are having the best time of your entire life or whether you are in challenge. May the light of God and the rays of Jesus find you and just bring you to an even higher octave than you already are. Thank you so much. I love all of you, and thank you for supporting my work. You can find me on Zencuda Official on Instagram, Zencuda on Facebook, and of course, Zencuda.com. Thanks so much, everybody. I love you all. Mwah.